Hey guys, welcome back to the class 8. We will discuss the different departments that are there in a private sector bank. Now, I am not going to tell every department of private sector bank. I am talking about only the relevant department that you need to, liaison with regularly if you are working as a credit manager, sales manager, relationship manager, whatever profile that you are in the banks. So these are the departments that you will regularly interact with. And if you are a customer, you are an entrepreneur watching this video, then this will give you an idea how the private banks operate, how the private banks have distributed their tasks in India, right? So the different departments in private sector bank, I have divided it into two parts. One is the front end office, one is the back end office. Front end office and back end office. By front end office, I mean the customer facing profiles. Customer facing profiles. They are the one who primarily take the heat, who go into the market, who meet the customer, who try to bring the customer to the bank, try to add the customer to the bank, try to satisfy the customer with their excellent services. So they are the front end team who are on the ground, who are making customer comfortable, who are bringing new customers to the bank. So I can call them front end office. So the front end office I have divided in two parts. One is the branch. Branch is nothing that branch is local bank branch that you see, in your nearby areas. So every branch has a cashier, a teller, which is basically do telecalling, Then the branch has relationship managers, RMs. These RMs are, responsible to pitch 360-degree different products to the customers, walking customers, serve their needs, build relationships, adding, value in their business, in their life, and bringing more business into bank through that. So RM's relationship manager is a profile in the branch banking. So every bank may have a different name, different different name for these profiles. Some banks, even some larger private sector banks, have even a profile between RM and BM also. So that is as per the different banks, according to their scale, according to their size. But what we have to know, we need to know what is the basic profiles that are mostly common in across the banking industry. Then these RMs report to the branch managers, the one that who is sitting in the big cabin in the branch. Every branch manager controls one branch. Yeah, right? These branch managers report to the CH, that is cluster heads. Every cluster head manages at least 5 to 7 branches. In some big banks, the cluster heads may manage 15, 20, 30 branches also. In some smaller banks, the cluster head may be managing the branches of a whole state also, right? In a smaller bank, maybe that bank has only 20 branches in whole state, right? So there could be only one cluster head in for the whole state. So that get adjusted according to the size or scales of the bank. So these cluster heads report to the zonal business heads. Zonal business heads take the reporting of around 4 to 5 cluster heads on a minimum side. Every cluster heads take responsibility, supervision of 15 to 20 branch managers. These zonal business heads then report to the national heads, which are country heads, right? National heads, we don't need to mention as, since there is only one national head for one country, right? So this is the branch, which is the main front end face of the bank, which we as a common people know that this is the bank, this is where we have to go to deposit the money, withdraw the money, right? So branch. Then comes some specialized departments. And one is loan department. Loan can be of any type: auto loan, personal loan, loan against property, housing loan, business loan, commercial vehicle loan, business banking, working capital loans. Loan can be of any type. So every loan type usually has different loan departments. So whatever people I have written there, if you call the auto loan department, they have separate chain for this. If you call a cash credit overdraft working capital department, they will have a separate chain for this. And similarly, if you call a LAP department, housing loan department, they may have a separate chain for this. And in some banks, it could be possible that LAP and HL have only one chain in common. They are merged together. right? So it all depends on bank to bank, but usually they are bifurcated according to the loan products. So first come the off-roll employees. Off-roll employees are the basically clerks. So they handle only the documentation part. Whatever the customer has applied for the loan, they take the documents from them, they process it, right? And process it and submit further. They initiate the valuation of the property, they initiate the legal of the property, they liaison with the operation department that we will discuss. So these are the off-roll employees. They are not on the books of the bank. So they are basically a third party employed persons who are working in the bank on behalf of the bank. So bank is not paying them directly, bank is paying that third party, and third party is paying them salary, right? So they are not on roll on the books of the bank. Relationship managers, very important profile. So off-roll employees reports to the relationship managers. Relationship managers are primarily on-field guy that goes to the market, goes to the customer premises, gets the things done. So RMs are the main pillars of any loan departments. Then these RMs reports to the area sales managers, that is ASMs. Every ASM user used to have a reporting of around 4 to 5 RMs. These ASMs reports to the RSMs, regional sales managers. They report to the zonal head businesses. They report to the national head business, which is one in the country, right? Then there is a trade team. Trade team is responsible to manage the forex dealings of the entity. If any entity is doing import, export, and there are multiple forex related transactions associated with it, LCs, BGs. So these are the transactions are managed by all the trade team with direct discussion with the customer, right? So the trade team does not have any off-roll employees usually. Some banks may have, but usually they don't have off-roll employees. They start from RMs and go up to national head, as like we have studied in the loan department section. Then there is the private banking and wealth department also in the banks. These private banking and wealth department handle the client's liability relationship, basically their savings, their investments, their mutual fund investments, their IPO related requirements, all the big things of all the net worth of the basically entities, clients, customers are handled and managed by them so that they can get maximum return out of their investments. So this is the private banking and wealth department. It also starts from RM and goes up to the national heads. So basically, these private banking, wealth, trade team, these branch team, these loan department teams, they work in synergy with each other. The private banking team may have a lead of a client which wants the trade exposure. So they will refer the lead to the trade team. They may know a client who may want a auto loan. So they will refer this to a concerned loan department. So they work with synchronizing with each other, in coordination with each other. Similarly, branch is the toughest profile in the private sector banks. They are responsible to literally sell everything. They have multiple con calls to attend, target multiple type of target of insurance, of loans, of FDs, of current accounts. You cannot even imagine. So branch banking team is the most stressed department, I think, in the banking sector. So they also work with all these departments to pass on the leads, to bring business to the banks, right? Then these are the front end departments. There may be some other departments as well, but these are the primarily departments that as an entrepreneur, as a credit manager, you should know, right? Then we come to the back end office. Back end office, the people who sit in the office, who don't face the customer usually, they face the customer, but they don't face it very regularly. They do it very occasionally. They don't have very interaction skill, communication skill, building relations with the customer. They don't have that required skills. These front end teams are specialized in those skills. So credit team is where I work. So it starts with the CPS, credit processing associates. These are the off-roll employees like the sales team. They are responsible for doing basic checking, basic clerical works. Some banks have employed them in-house through third party, like off-roll employees. And some banks have outsourced this work to the CA agencies, chartered accountant agencies, or any other agencies. Outsource this work to the CA agencies, a third party. And so that there no need to arrange any sitting for any employee in the bank branch. Only the third party manages all the task. Okay? So from CPAs, we come to CMs, that is credit managers, who are basically pillars doing underwriting, analysis, Then credit managers reports to the ACMs, like we have ASMs here. Similarly, in credit team, we have ACMs here, area credit manager. That was the last post that I was working on. Although I had offer for RCM profile also, but I chose to work, for my own sake on YouTube. I left the job. So RCM is the post that was last offered to me. So RCM are regional credit managers that take supervision of ACMs. These RCMs report to zonal credit managers and they report to the national credit manager, right? Then there is a legal team in the bank that is, helping in legal matters, multiple legal matters bank may have internally. Sometime when we mortgage a property, create a security, when there is some legal matter arises, then we need to take opinion of internal legal team of the banks, right? We need to take their opinion that what we can do. So since we are not legal experts, so this legal team is specialized in it and they tell us what we need to do in a particular situation that we are stuck in. Then there is a very important team that is called technical teams. The technical team is responsible for the property valuation, the security that is offered as a security, collateral security to us. They are responsible for doing the valuation of that property, and their basic profile starts with technical managers, then area technical managers, then regional technical managers, and so on and so forth, right? They are basically engineers, qualified, valuers who can calculate the value of the property. Then comes the operation teams. Operation team also start with overall employees, operation manager, area operation manager, regional operational manager, and so on and so forth. Operation team is a basically totally back-end department that whenever credit team sanction a loan file, then operation team task is to disburse that file, disburse the funds to the client's account, check the final loan disbursement documents, see if there is any error. Every back-end task is performed by the operations team. Once you disburse the loan, then monitoring team comes into the picture. Monitoring team has the task of checking whether the loan that we have done is doing well or not, whether there is any signs of stress, early stress in the loans, whether client is not paying EMI or he is not depositing the interest. They try to alert the field team, that is the credit team and the front end teams, if they notice any significant, any concerning matter in the disbursed loans, right? So that is the monitoring team. Name suggests they do monitoring. Then there is product and policy team that are responsible to make a whole policy for the bank. Then there is collection team. Collection team is the one, whenever you give a loan, if the client defaults in repayment of loan, then some, strong persons need to be there who can go and tell the client that you need to pay us the money back, right? So that collection team is the one who is responsible to collect the EMIs from the defaulting or customers, or the customers who are delaying the EMIs. They are responsible for collections, right? Then there is a RCU team. RCU team works start before the operation teams. RCU team is basically risk control unit. So whatever documents that we have studied in the previous lecture that the client need to submit to the bank, RCU team task is to verify those documents, that these documents are genuine. There is no such sign of any ingenuity in any of the submitted documents. So RCU team has main task of doing that. Then IT team, no need to tell, the IT team managing all the software application and hardware related problems of yours. Audit team, you already know, internal audit team of the bank doing all the auditing of branch banking, everything, right? Then the HR team, human resource team, that you are already know of. So this is the main departments of the private sector banks that you need to be aware of. If you are an entrepreneur, you need to, if you are a big client, so you need to know which person are you approaching for resolution of your queries. Are you dealing with only a RM who may not have such power or authority to resolve your query? Maybe RSM has a power to resolve your query and you are only liaising with this guy for last 2 months and not directly approaching this guy, right? So it is important for as an entrepreneur to know what are the designations and authority and powers of the persons that you are dealing with, right? So I hope you are clear with the different departments of private sector banks. Then next lecture number 9, class number 9, we will discuss in the next video. Thank you very much.